He just turned 34 a few months back, is a six-time All-Star, has made the NBA All-Defensive Second Team an impressive 5 times, led the league in steals in 2021, and has the resume of an all-timer except one big gap, and that is the fact that he has made it to 2 NBA Finals and lost both of them, despite being pretty much the best player on his team on both occasions. Such is the story of Jimmy Butler, who despite being one of the biggest stars in the NBA, remains the most deserving of a championship ring and is yet to fulfill his ultimate dream. Jimmy's contract with the Miami Heat currently puts him at $45,183,960 for the season, where he's tied to the franchise for 2 more seasons, finally becoming a free agent at the age of 37. But how much further can he go? And is it too late for him to contest another massive title run? And more importantly, does he deserve better than Miami Heat? One might argue that this is the franchise that Jimmy Butler had the best chance with to contest for a title, but one might also say that this is the franchise which perhaps also failed him in more ways than one. The first being their failed pursuit of Damian Lillard, who ended up going to the Bucks. The second being the lack of help that Butler receives on a regular, considering how Miami were unable to land a replacement for Lillard. And thirdly, the fact that they didn't trade Butler to a better franchise, which perhaps could have made the best use of him as he pushes into his 13th season in the NBA. A similar sentiment was echoed by Kendrick Perkins in a recent segment where he mentioned how it was time for the Miami Heat to trade Jimmy Butler.
It's time for the Miami Heat and Jimmy Butler to go their separate ways. And I believe that the Miami Heat need to do right by Jimmy and trade him to a team that actually could compete for a title this season.
This was further echoed by a Fan Nation article, where they mentioned how the Heat have made the NBA Finals in 2 out of Butler's first 4 seasons with the franchise. However, Perkins made a good point that their roster features young players such as Bam Adebayo, 26, and Tyler Herro, 24, who are much younger than Butler. Perkins argued how this young roster may not be able to support Jimmy Butler on another magical playoff run, so it would be ideal for them to finally part ways. However, the trade deadline passed, and Butler is still with the Heat, and he can choose to leave if he doesn't activate the player option in his last season, so he can very well be a free agent by 2025. Jimmy Butler's agent Bernard Lee was quick to clap back, saying that he's not going anywhere and he's winning a championship in Miami. And that, for now, is a very bold claim. This also comes in the aftermath of Miami's rather disappointing trade situation, considering how they brought in Terry Rozier as additional help, who himself has never been an all-star. It is also evident by Butler's record in NBA Finals as to how much he could use the all-star help, pointed out specifically by Sean Powell in an article for NBA.com from October 2023. If you didn't notice, Butler runs out of gas in the moment of truth. He did so in the 2020 season Restart Championship Series against the Los Angeles Lakers, and he did so again last June against the Denver Nuggets. Although he brings a knack for producing big scoring games, ask the Milwaukee Bucks, ask the Boston Celtics, etc. He's not really a big scorer. Those scattered postseason examples of him going off are just that, and eventually they exhaust a player who spends plenty of energy on defense. He further went on to say how Butler could have used a fourth-quarter closer, and hence the Lillard trade was so appealing, but with the narrative also shifting to the idea that Jimmy Butler doesn't care much about the regular season and instead just wants to activate playoff Jimmy in the postseason. It remains difficult to examine how both Miami Heat and Butler could come to make peace in this seemingly tumultuous relationship. Butler is a fierce competitor, and despite these questions, his record speaks for himself. But does he deserve a better or even a different supporting cast? We leave that to you to decide, and on that note, we come to the end of this video. Do make sure you like it. Hit that subscribe button to join our growing community, and let us know in the comments section on how far do you think Jimmy Butler will lead the Miami Heat this season, and we will see you in the next one.